Hi there folks, and welcome to this week's What Solutions for the Daily Rigour. This is issue number 24. So in our first story from the education section, 30% of 2010's new teachers have already quit the profession. So if 24,100 state school teachers qualified in 2010, how many had quit by the end of 2015? So essentially we're working out 30% of 24,100. We've talked about this in several editions. Various strategies you could do here, but probably the most common one is to find 10% first by dividing by 10 and then multiplying your answer by 3. And if you work that out successfully, you would have got an answer of 7,230 teachers, which I think is an awful lot. Who on earth would want to quit the best job in the world? Well, it's not for me to say. Okay, so over to the business section, and guess what? Marmite's made it into the news again, and that's because Morrison's is the first supermarket to raise its price. All of this affecting the falling pound in production costs. Brexit, you literally either love it or hate it. Sorry, just a wee joke there. But anyway, a price rise of 12.5% is actually quite significant. So we're trying to increase the price of £2.35 by 12.5% in Part A. So we could work out 12.5% and then add on £2.35 to the answer. The quickest way to increase something by 12.5% is to multiply by 1.125. But as I say, there's different methods you could use here. But if you do all that and round to 2 decimal places because it's money, you should have got an answer of £2.64. That's quite high, I would say, just for one thing. Anyway, part B now. We've got that Ben absolutely loves this stuff and buys 25 pots for £66. So we're given the price from Morrison's, which we've just worked out. We're given the cost in Sainsbury's, Waitrose and Tesco are both £2.35. It's on special in Asda for £2. So which supermarket must you be shopping in? And you must give a reason for your answer. So it's a bit of trial and error here. You could have guessed lucky first time, or you could have got it last time. But either way, the final answer is Morrison's. Now your reason for that is because if you take the cost of one jar and see how many times it goes into the £66 in total for Morrison's, that comes out rather nicely as 25. So because the amount per jar goes into 66 25 times, that means Morrison's must have been the shop that Ben was shopping in. Anyway, on to story number 3 now, finance, and it's about earnings rise fastest for the low paid. There's some stats here and a nice wee graph to represent that. But our question is about the median average full-time salary, which is £28,000 and 28 a year before tax. So this is the median average salary, but we do not receive all of this in our bank account. We've got to pay tax on our earnings. So Joanne earns this salary, and what she actually gets paid into her bank account every week is £427.42. So how much tax does Joanne pay per year? So we have to take her weekly pay and multiply it by the number of weeks in a year in order to work out an annual salary. So we times by 52, because of course there's 52 weeks in a year. So her take home pay, the pay after tax, is £22,225.84. So how much tax does she pay? Well, what we have to do is we have to take her before tax salary and take away her take home pay salary, and that gives us a difference of £5,802.16. You might think that's an awful lot to pay in tax, but it is, but it does pay for things like the NHS, our health service, for your education, so in that respect it's money well spent. Okay, and in part B, what percentage of Joanne's annual salary is tax? So what is this as a percentage of her salary? Well, we've worked out problems like this in the past, in previous editions. So we do the tax divided by the annual salary, and that gives it as a decimal. So to change it to a percentage, we multiply by 100. And it doesn't say about rounding, but if you type that into your calculator, I'm sure you'll agree 20.7% is probably the thing that most people would have rounded to there. Okay, so into our last story in the entertainment section. So we've got Donald Glover cast as the young Lando Calrissian in the upcoming Han Solo film. Of course, they're all made famous by Billy D. Williams in the original trilogy. So in light of the fact that Lando is a card gambling scoundrel, we've got a wee Texas Hold'em card question for you. So basically Lando plays a game of Texas Hold'em poker, and he's dealt 2 cards, the King of Clubs and the Ace of Clubs. So what happens in Texas Hold'em is that 3 cards are put on the table, and this is called the flop, and the flop is the 3 of clubs, the 7 of clubs, and the 8 of hearts. And then the turn card is the 2 of diamonds, and we're waiting on the river card, the last card. And in Texas Hold'em it's the best possible 5 card hand that you can make. So Lando is waiting on a flush, which is 5 cards of the same suit, so in this case 5 clubs. He's already got 4, he needs this last card to be a club in order to get this flush. So we want to know what's the probability of the river card being a club. Well, there's 52 cards in a pack, which means there's 13 of each suit. There already are 4 clubs dealt, which means there'll be 9 clubs left, out of a total of how many? Well, there's 52 cards in a pack, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 already in the table, which means there'll be 46 cards left. Now the question does say to not leave your answer as a fraction, but to give it as a decimal rounded to 1 decimal place. So we do 9 divided by 46, which gives us 0.19565, and to round to 1 decimal place, we look at the number after the point, and then the second number after that is a 9. So because this is 5 or more, we round the 1 up to 2, which gives us an answer of 0.2 to 1 decimal place. So essentially a 1 in 5 chance of getting a flush. I wouldn't be betting the Millennium Falcon on it, but that's just me personally. Anyway, there you have it, folks. That was the What Solutions for issue number 24 of the Daily Rigour. Hope you found that useful. Stay tuned for next week's issue, when we're going to be looking at more stories from the news of the week and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and bye for now.